In terms of the speed of the race itself, of course, sprint races, the dogs run very fast, 20 to 25 miles per hour. They average around 19. Races like this, they're going to average closer to 10 miles per hour running, and because the run-rest cycles are equal, with the dog running for 4 hours and resting 4 hours, they average out to about 5 miles per hour in the 1,000-mile races. Here the dogs are running faster than the 1,000-mile race and slower than the sprint races. I mentioned the number of vets already. In terms of the competition, we have some world-class mushers here who have run the Iditarod numerous times. We've got some mushers here who are just starting out and have only run a few races, and they're learning from the veterans that are here. So it's a nice, again, sort of a mixed race. It's a moderate race. It's a middle of the road race. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's a very comfortable kind of race to work at because of that. We're not inundated with 100 teams as the Iditarod would be, and yet we don't have just one or two teams, and we've got a nice-sized veterinary crew, so a nice-sized crew of judges. So we get to know everybody, and therefore can communicate more effectively, develop friendships and liaisons with the other officials and vets so that we can enhance the care of the dogs better than in some of the long races where the vets are so many and so far apart they can't communicate. So there are quite a number of differences like that.
Various races for various places, basically, in that term.
That's very true, and this is a mountainous race. The Iditarod has mountains at the beginning and then a long stretch on the Yukon River, which is very flat, and then you end up on the coastal area of western Alaska. And so the temperature variations can run from Anchorage, where it's 35 above, to the Yukon, where it's 40 below, and then on to the Bering Sea, where it's probably 10 below or 5 above with the blizzards blowing in off the Bering Sea. And that would compare to, say, the Yukon Quest, which is a month earlier, colder, darker, temperatures down to 60 below, excuse me, and fewer checkpoints, more mountains, more elevations, less river running. And then you get to the Midwest, where sled dog races in Minnesota are on lakes and rivers and streams, running through heavily wooded areas, fairly flat, similar with Wisconsin and Michigan. Maine, we race again in the mountains, but the mountains are not as high as here. So this race is suited for this kind of terrain, which is mountainous, a lot of up and down, and not a lot of flat straightaways. No Bering Sea blizzards. So we don't have the blowing snow. We have the falling snow and the depth of snow, warmer snow than the really cold crystalline snow of the Yukon. So you're right, different races for different places.
Okay. The next question that I have is, how do you feel this race went this year?
It went really well. It went very smoothly. Of course, it's not over and anything can happen, but we'll knock on wood. And the weather was wonderful. It was better for the spectators than the dogs. The dogs like to run in colder temperatures. 10, 15 below zero is ideal for them because they can't take their fur coats off as we can. But then spectators tend not to be as enthusiastic about a race at 20 below as the dogs are. It's also a beautiful sunny day. Again, a little warm for the dogs, perfect for us. But so far, everything's been fine. The dogs have looked great. We've had only a couple of dogs that were dropped. One was for a shoulder injury, and another one was for what we think might be a little pneumonia, but we're not sure because all the other dogs of the race are fine, and so we don't really think that's what it is. So as a precaution, even though the dog isn't sick, we held it out anyway. Actually, the musher chose, to leave it behind. So with only 2 dogs here dropped at the checkpoint out of all the teams, and most of the teams are in and out, and everyone's smiling, I think the race has gone really well.
And what do you foresee in the future in terms of this race? Where do you see it possibly going? You've been on several other races and seen where they go. Kind of where does this one rate, and where do you think it will go?
Well, I think it can only go up. The quality is the fundamentals are all in place, and so now it's a matter of fine tuning things. And folks such as yourself will go back and look at your notes and decide that you might want to move a checkpoint location in the field over 100 feet or you might need a third tent, or you might need to spruce up the communication system to the internet or something. Minor things that are going to enhance the race, but the fundamentals are there. You've got the volunteers, you've got the people, you have the community support, you have a beautiful trail system in a good location. You have all the basics covered, and the entry will increase as the purse increases. Dog mushers really want two things. They want a nice purse to race for, and they want beautiful trails to race on that are safe for their dogs and fast enough to make it a real race, and beautiful enough that a person can look around and enjoy where they are. And you basically have that. And as you get more sponsors and the purse grows, and people in the various communities of Joseph, Enterprise, LeGrand, etc., Halfway, and Baker, all start to realize the potential of this event and start supporting it monetarily, then of course the entry goes up. More and more big name mushers come in. The news media then has more to cover, more individuals to interview, and so I see that aspect of it growing. As the purse grows and the entry grows, you're going to have a larger race. In terms of the trail system, it's probably as good as it's going to get in terms of its layout and location, the beauty. In terms of length, it could be longer. Maybe someday it'll incorporate more communities. In terms of location, where the race will get longer and take another 20 or 50 or 100 miles and weave into some of the other communities of northeastern Oregon. So I see the race as potentially growing longer as well, maybe more classes, a 100, a 200, and a 500 or something, let's say. So I see growth in that area as well. And those are the main things. Maybe more classes with more trails, certainly more entrants, and of course more financial support from the community as the community leaders realize the gold mine they have here and the potential they've got for supporting what you're doing.
And I totally agree with you. I feel that we can, in the future, it's only up from there as far as I'm concerned. Now, the last question I have concerns this jacket that you wear. This jacket is a lovely green jacket with lovely fur on it, and the biggest question I have here is what in the world is with all the patches?
Well, we veterinarians are very poor people, and so this coat, of course, is full of holes, and I can't afford to have the holes patched, so I put patches on. In reality, we get patches from most of the races that we attended, and I've probably officiated at nearly 70, 60-some races since 1992. Prior to that, I was a dog musher myself, and then I switched to providing veterinary care for the dogs. So yeah, there's lots of patches.
Wow, that's quite a few patches. Wow.
Yeah. Most of the other vets here also have. Not as many, but they're trying to catch up with me. But we pride ourselves in doing a lot of races and supporting the people, and this is one of the ways we show it. And the one large patch in back is the official ISD VMA patch. That's the International Sled Dog Veterinary Medical Association. We are an international organization because there is dog mushing with sled dog races in Australia, Ushuaia, which is in Argentina, Punta Arenas, which is in Chile, also in Cape Town, South Africa, up in the mountains, and then of course throughout Europe, from Russia to Scotland, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, France, Germany, the Czech Republic, Kamchatka, which is on the far eastern end of Siberia, right across from Alaska, also hosts races. And so the ISDVMA accredits veterinarians such as myself to officiate at races like this. And so the one large patch I have and the actual green jacket in the style is our uniform. Football referees and basketball referees, baseball umps, they all wear zebra stripes, or in the case of umpires, the mask and the blue shirt and the chest protector. But competitors can always tell who the officials are, and so we have these green jackets. And as Henry Ford once said, to paraphrase, it can be any color as long as it's green. And we wear these green jackets with the major ISDVMA patch on the back, and every musher attending knows that they're dealing with someone who's certified to work with these dogs and who has a lot of experience working with them, so they know they can trust us in our judgment.
Sled dog racing all over the world, it looks like. Well, thank you, Dr. JerryVanek, very much for your time, and we look forward to having many more races with you here, hopefully at Eagle Cap Sled Dog Race.
Well, I hope so, and I expect so. I don't see it going anywhere but up.
Thank you, sir, very much.